Hello!
Hello! Welcome to Mondays with Kevin and Emily here on Family the Gathering.
So this is our second episode of the birdwatching tutorial.
Ta-da! Today, our objective is the same as it was last time. This is about helping develop some beginning level observation and identification skills for bird study.
You recall we went through several slides. Go ahead and watch the other video if you can't remember what they were, but it was a game where you were trying to figure out what the birds were. Hopefully you'll recall that you had some strategies that may or may not have served you well, but here are some that birdwatchers often use.
So, birdwatchers are first looking at the visual characteristics of the birds around them, their size, their shape, their color, and their behavior. So those are all things that you can see visually.
Right. So the benchmarking idea, I'll just touch on. Essentially, you ask yourself, or you try to think of a sort of a placeholder, something that you almost always can remember. So like I use the American robin often, and I say to myself, is this bird I'm looking at larger or smaller than a robin? So you can do that on sort of any circumstance, and along all these dimensions. But that's kind of the strategy that I wanted to touch on there.
The next sensory input is auditory. So you can listen to the song of the bird, its call, or you can make an analogy. It sounds like whatever that may be.
So the way that I mean romanization is you say a verbal phrase in English like sweet, 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 and sweet. And that is to refer to the call of the yellow warbler, for instance, that sounds like this. So you're sort of phonetically mimicking the shape of the sound.
Nice.
And analogy like a something, and you might say a car horn or a buzzer, or a beep beep or whatever. That's sort of your trick. What about these?
You're kind of looking at your sensory inputs when you're thinking about birds, but you're also going to maybe simultaneously consider the context that you're in as you're looking for birds. So, what type of habitat are you in? What is the season that you're in? Is it migration season? You're going to get different birds depending on the season.
Right. Your basic niche diversification means that certain species will be likely or more likely to be in certain pockets in the woods. So that's kind of one of your strategies. Speaking of strategies,
so Kevin kind of describes this to me as a Venn diagram. So you've got your context clues, like you know that it's spring, you know you're in a field, you see a blue bird, you hear the song. Right.
So if you've got all that, then maybe you can narrow down to some subset of birds. So, for example, what about these? These two, and you can see right now anywhere in Illinois, and you're sort of wondering, well, what are they? One, and two, which one am I seeing? So this is what they are, and
so how would you try to figure out which one is which if that's what you saw?
Right. The trick we got basically is to go more granular. You're going to look for basically the same things, but you're going a little bit more narrow. You're thinking wing stripes, and is it nesting? Is the nest on the ground? Is the nest in the tree? Is it bobbing its tail, which is actually really common for certain species, but not at all for others. All those kind of things can be helpful. I think playing the song blip is one that I like to do. I've been using my phone, and you can use the internet and apps to play the song in the field or at home to sort of remember what it is or try to get the bird to sing to you. Otherwise, get a better view. So imagine this is your set of birds still, and all you really want to do is get a view from the front of that one.
Yeah. But like that happens all the time when you're looking at birds. Like from the back, they look really similar. So trying to figure out how you can get that front view so you can see the different characteristics. Other things that might help as you are beginning your bird studies are these different types of tools that help you, as Kevin says, extend your senses. So your binoculars, if you are super fancy, you get a scope. You definitely need a field guide. We like the Peterson.
Yeah, you can just look back at this slide for references. There's a Cornell database on birds that helps you find out what's going on around you, and you can enter in what you've been seeing lately sort of around your community.
So in summary, the first thing you want to keep in mind is just benchmarking. You already know a lot, maybe more than you think you do.
And the second one, tools. You're just expanding your senses.
And the third is to think about it like a Venn diagram. Can you keep adding layers and layers to your Venn diagram until there's a small subset of birds that you're really trying to decide between?
And the obvious. Do it more and more and more and more and more in practice.
The more you practice, the easier this will be over time.
That's right.
All right, thanks for tuning in. Don't forget, Family The Gathering every weekday. New video, new host, always awesome. Bye.
Bye.